what I'm going to show you now is a simple step-by-step process of taking this radiator off the wall without having to drain the radiator or the system. And here's some of the tools that we're going to need to do that. Firstly, an old cloth. This will catch any drips which we may have. Secondly, just a standard radiator spanner. This is to remove and undo the nuts that connect the valves to the radiator. Thirdly, this is a specialist tool called the rad wrench, and what this does is it securely grips the valve as you're trying to undo the nuts which connect that valve to the radiator. It stops the valve spinning round and associated damage to your pipework, etc. And lastly, this is the Radclamp radiator removal kit. This is a specialist kit which will allow us to take off the radiator without any drainage of water. And I'm going to show you now how we're going to use this. Now the next thing we need to do is isolate this radiator from the rest of the system. This is very simple. We need to fully rotate each valve at the end of each end of the radiator in a fully clockwise direction. This will isolate the radiator from the system. Now on this radiator I've already done that. So to actually check that it has been isolated successfully, we need to go to the air vent. Now within the kit you are given an air vent key. So simply go over to the air vent, place a cloth underneath, undo the little air vent screw, so a little bit of air, a little bit of water, and stop. Now close that off. Very important that you close that valve off now. We're now ready to move on to the next stage. I'm now going to show you how to attach the rad clamps to the radiator. Now if you can see here, you get two clamps within the kit itself, and this is the clamp. All metal construction. It's very simple to do. You simply place it on the radiator, putting the finger at the back of the radiator and tightening up the knob like so, so it supports itself. Rule of thumb is basically 3 inches from the centre of the clamp to the end of the radiator, or 75 mil. It's not critical, but round about that measurement. The next thing to do is to get the linkage rod and place it through the hole in the back of the clamp and leave it there like so, ready for the next stage. As you can now see, I have attached the other clamp to the other end of the radiator, so we're ready to move on to the next stage. Now the next stage is to disconnect the radiator from the valves, remembering that now the radiator is full of water. Now it's a good time to recheck on the air vent that it's actually closed. That's very important because we must maintain the vacuum within the radiator. Now this is the rubber seal which we're going to use to block the end of the radiator. And as you can see from that angle, it's very thin and it will get in easily between the gap. Now, next thing to do is to undo the nut between the valve and the radiator. First thing, we use the rad wrench, which slides on that way and grips the valve. Next thing we use is the spanner and slacken off the nut like so. Now don't panic at this point because you've still got the vacuum within the radiator itself. Notice we've put the cloth underneath to catch any drips. Now simply slacken off the nuts. Still virtually no water coming out. You get hold of the seal and very quickly pull away the valve and insert the seal rubber end first over the end, like so. That is now sealed. Now the next thing we need to do to hold that seal in place is to connect it to the linkage rod, like so. Simply push it through, give it half a turn, like so, pull it across and then tighten up the little pinch screw there which holds it in place. Now we know it's disconnected from the system and the radiator is now full of water. As you can see now, the radiator is disconnected completely from the central heating system and is ready to be lifted from the wall. This just requires now lifting off the brackets and placing on, as you can see here, a couple of blocks of wood, a couple of bricks, anything really, just to raise it off the floor. And there you go. The radiator is now removed from the wall, full of water, no damage to the carpets, and you're free to do whatever work's required on that wall. Now, as you can see, the work has been carried out on the wall, the radiator is put back on its brackets, it's now ready to be reconnected to the heating system, which is in effect a reverse of the disconnection. So I will now show you how to reconnect the pipe. Simply slacken off the pinch bolt, like so, cloth underneath to catch any small drips of water, remove the seal quickly and place the valve over. Push the seal in out of the way and tighten up the nut using the spanner. Tighten back the nut up, the rad wrench to hold the valve and tighten up the nut like so. Give it a good twist, and that is now the radiator is back on the wall, work's been completed, it's connected up to the valves. All we need to do now is reopen the valves and reintroduce the water that is in the radiator back into the system. This means there's no extra refilling of the system. If you turn with the lock shield on that side, that's that done. Open up the wheel valve on the other side, leave any tiny bit of air in there till the water comes out. There she is. Switch that off and remove the clamps. 1, 2, back in the case for next time, and there you have it. The radiator reconnected, work carried out, clean carpets, job done.